What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today, based on popular demand, we are again going to revisit the current levels of cost of living across Phoenix Metro. So you're going to have Gilbert, Peoria, Mesa, Tempe, Chandler. We're going to look at those and compare basically the one X factor that's going to be involved here, and that is going to be the price of rent or the price of a home. Because all across Phoenix Metro, you're looking at one thing or pretty much one thing that's the big variable, and that's the housing. The food, the gas, all of that is pretty comparable all across the valley. And then the only other X factor is how far away do you have to drive from your home to your work. So that's why we're going to look at the cost of buying a home or the rent. And so if you're new to this channel, Living in Arizona, and you like to understand more information about the state of Arizona, we take questions. Ask the questions below. So do subscribe to Living in Arizona, and we will do our best to keep you guys updated. Also, you can join us on Facebook in our group, Living in Arizona. We will put a link below. In here, we've got great questions coming in, such as our questions and comments. This one comes from Kristin Hernandez. I've singled it out because she went into great detail about her experience coming from Maryland to Arizona to go and look for homes, because a lot of you who are moving from out of state are going to go through the same process. You're going to land at Sky Harbor. You're going to have to take a rental car, and you're going to have to drive around and figure out where you want to go. So before you get here, you're going to want to know this stuff. Well, look at this. Kristin basically did an editorial, like a blog post here that you can read. I'll give you a little bit of a snippet, but for perspective, I lived most of my life in Maryland in Hartford County, a suburb of Baltimore. My husband and I then moved to the Northeast Baltimore City for 3 years before traveling cross country and living in RV for 18 months. We ended up living in Southern California. In our opinion, most of the suburbs, she's talking about Phoenix, on the west side, north and east side are beautiful. Everything seems very clean and in good repair. The further away from the city you get, the nicer it seems to be. However, it is very generic suburbia, which we happen to love. It's fine for us. So if you guys want to, get posts like this, interact and ask questions to Kristin who had an experience, feel free to join our group. We're inviting you there. We would love to see you there. And thank you to Kristin for providing this update for the community so that you guys can all stay up to date. So now moving right along here, if you guys are looking for homes and you are needing or looking for a real estate agent to just ask questions, you can contact my brother, Matthew Crooks. He's a real estate agent with Berkshire Hathaway. And if you have any questions, you can call him up. Do it. Put him to work. His number is 480-473-4900. You can see here's a list of some of his recent homes. What is this? This was $295,000 home. It's more expensive than my home that I live in Santan Valley. But it looks a little bit smaller too, 3 beds, 2 baths. So, I mean, this is just an example of a home. I don't even know where Loop Gold Canyon, Arizona is, but you can see, this is just an example of some of the homes that have sold. And then, so, yeah, contact him, or you can catch up with him in the group. He also hangs out there and fields questions. And so let's go ahead and get started on this cost of living across Arizona. So they say, on HuffPost, how much money you need to live comfortably in 50 big cities. I already came up with the number of about how much you need to make. It was just under $4,000 per month, which would put us at about $48,000 per year, right? So let's see what HuffPost says as of 2016. Let's see, where did HuffPost put? So they had Mesa, Arizona at $42,000. That's a little bit under where I have it because I have a set. Well, I guess you could, yeah, $45,000 is about the price. But Tucson, they say just under 40, you can live pretty comfortable. I suppose so. I mean, it depends on, I guess maybe my costs are a little bit higher because I do a lot of because of driving and because of food. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how they got that price. Maybe the cost of living, maybe they have a cheaper rent. That was based on a $1,600 rent that I had, a $1,600 mortgage. So I guess if you have a $1,200 mortgage, that would drive down the price of how much you need to make, right? Anyway, so what I've done here is I've gone on to bestplaces.net and I've calculated the difference in prices between, here is just one, for example, Phoenix and Mesa. So you can see the average median home cost in Phoenix is $229. Because my home is about $270, I can tell you that my mortgage is around, because I just did a refinance from 4.9% down to 4.2%. Again, my brother helped me with that, Matthew, and he has a loan officer who helped me refinance, go from 4.9% down to 4.2%, which saved me about $150 a month, which after you refinance, you have to take into consideration closing costs again, but you get it 45 days to pay your payment, so it all kind of just carries, it floats. It's good. And you can even, I don't know, it just seems to work out. It saves me money per month, and I'm happy with it. Even though I had to pay closing costs again, but it's like I guess my anticipation is the housing market in Arizona is going to continue to go up over time. Long-term 10-year plan. I feel as though my house, whatever I own now, is going to be worth. So I found refinancing to be a good thing. But the median home cost, Mesa, $236, just a little bit more expensive than Phoenix. Okay, and you can see pretty much everything else is comparable. The food and groceries is similar. Just the overall index. So you're not going to get any price difference really between Mesa and Phoenix. I mean, you could probably find a cheaper house in Mesa than you would in Phoenix, and you could probably find a more expensive house in Mesa than you would in Phoenix, because Mesa is actually the largest suburb in all of America and the largest suburb in Phoenix Metro. And it's literally, you could go from Phoenix to Mesa, you didn't even know you left Phoenix Metro because it's all connected. It's like going from San Bernardino to Riverside all the way into Los Angeles. You wouldn't even know you left. That's how Phoenix sprawl works, is you don't even know you're in a different suburb other than the fact that they just told you just crossed the city limit, but it's all one big grid connected. So Mesa, now if you were to say, hey Jeff, would you rather live in Phoenix or Mesa? I would rather live in Mesa. Do I love Mesa? No. Okay. So do I love Phoenix? I mean, it's like I like the area, but I would rather live in Mesa because it's a little bit more calm. It also has cool things to do in Mesa. Now, if we wanted to go to some of these other places, you're going to see Scottsdale, for example, is going to be a lot more expensive than both Mesa and Phoenix. Average median home cost, $457,000. That's twice the price of Phoenix and Mesa, basically. And if you compare Phoenix or Scottsdale to Peoria, $266,000. So now here's where it gets interesting. So Peoria is more expensive than Mesa and Phoenix, and you say, would I rather live, if I had a choice, would I live in Peoria, Phoenix, or Mesa? Okay, because they're both similar, but Peoria is a little bit more expensive. I would probably still settle on Mesa. Now, Peoria is a nicer community in the west side, so it's like polar opposites. It's like living in Washington or Florida in the sense that it's literally halfway across the city grid. So Peoria is on the northwest side, Mesa's on the southeast side, two totally different sides of town. So I'm, again, aligning with the southeast side of Phoenix. Now, if we go to another comparison that we're looking at here, just Phoenix and Tucson, Tucson is considered a lot more affordable median home price than Phoenix. So $179,000 average median home price in Tucson compared to Phoenix, $229,000. And then if we look at another comparison, we're going to go Gilbert and Buckeye. So this is comparing the new up-and-coming southwest Phoenix suburb of Buckeye compared to the southeast Phoenix suburb of Gilbert. You can see it's $314,000 per home in Gilbert. Buckeye is going to be $212,000. Now, if you said to me, which one of these places would I want to live out of all of those places if money wasn't an issue, I would go to Scottsdale. But if you said if money was an issue and you couldn't quite just qualify to live in Scottsdale, out of the remaining factors, I would go with Gilbert. Okay, so I'm just trying to paint the picture here of everything. Now, if you like the southeast side of town and you want to save money, you can now look at Santan Valley and Queen Creek, which are right next to Gilbert. So right when you leave Gilbert heading east, you end up in Queen Creek. And if you keep going further beyond Queen Creek, you end up in the new suburb of the boomtown of Santan Valley. I call it boomtown because everywhere you look, there's grids of plotted out lands where they're just throwing up massive amounts of homes. Like, I've never seen a building boom like I've seen right now in Santan Valley, which is where I live. Now, they're going to say that the average median home cost for a home in Santan Valley is $205,000, whereas in Queen Creek it's $272,000. So you're looking at Queen Creek's already built up. It's filling in. It's starting to become a part of Phoenix Metro. It's already connected to the grid, whereas Santan Valley is like going to be the next layer of Queen Creek. So if you look at the evolution of Phoenix, it just kept going further and further away from the central area. Like she was saying in the post on Facebook, how the further away you get from Phoenix, the core Phoenix, you get away from the culture, but you end up in this new bland suburbia. And that's what you're having, is these cookie cutter homes where it's nice communities, but it's brand new, so there's not a lot of culture that's already established. And then so that's what you have in Santan Valley. It's brand spanking new, everything. Like they're having to build roads, and they're going to have to start. They've already talked about, I've seen 2 plans here recently. One for a trampoline park in Queen Creek, and then one for a recreational center in Queen Creek, like right down the road from Santan Valley. Because I live literally on the fringe of Santan Valley and Queen Creek, like literally right there at the border. I could almost call myself Queen Creek. But it's so close because Queen Creek's so close. I mean, they've got plans. They're starting to just pop up out of nowhere where they're like, well, we got new plans to get excited for. We've got this experience that's being built and it's in the works and this and that. It's going to take 12 months to build. So that's what we're experiencing out here in the Southeast Valley. They're also experiencing some of that in the Southwest Valley and maybe the Northwest, I think, the Northwest. But they can't really go any further east out of Scottsdale because that's where the Native American Indian Reservation is, right? So now I will say in Santan Valley, for a new home, it is going to cost you around about, I've seen them for as low as $190, okay, with no HOA. So I was thinking about it, I was like, why would someone... I was like, what's the downside to a home with no HOA? And the thing about no HOA is your neighbors can grow weeds on their lawn, and if they don't fix their garage door, the HOA is not there to correct them. But you don't have to deal with an HOA who's trying to tell you what to do with your life. So, I mean, but I saw that out here in Santan Valley. Brand new homes, $190,000. Should get the name of that place. Ask me later. Ask me on the group or whatever. But I'll try to remember. It was some name. It was some builder. Ashton Woods, maybe? I don't know. I don't think that was it. I don't know. I'm only saying that because I'm trying to remember while I'm talking, but I'll move on. Queen Creek, yeah, $272,000. There's beautiful homes being built all up along Queen Creek on Ocotillo. I mean, I just drive up there. I go up north on Ironwood, and then I make a left onto Ocotillo. They're building homes on every side. I mean, it's amazing. Come out here and check it out. Really, seriously, it's like... The building boom is incredible. They've got a variant of next generation homes, low price homes with no HOA, brand new stuff, and then homes like where I live, whatever. It's good. I mean, but you don't get a lot of backyard and they're cookie cutter. So cookie cutter homes can be a bit bland. Like after cookie cutter home, I might end up deciding to try and buy some property and build a custom home. Like cookie cutter homes are just they're well built, or they're built to spec. So they're not necessarily well built. They're not custom homes, but you get what you pay for, and the quality, the warranties, and all that are in place. Everything works, and that's good. Whereas with a custom home, you're kind of up against did you build it right? Did you settle the foundation and stuff like that? If the foundation's not settled out here on a cookie cutter home, they'll come out. They got to repair it because you bought the house from them, and they're in warranty with you. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video. You can see. A salary of $50,000 in Santan Valley should increase to $56,000 in Queen Creek. Assumptions include homeowner, no child care, and taxes are not considered. Okay, so, I mean, you can see everything's pretty much comparable. They're saying that groceries in Santan Valley are more expensive than Queen Creek. What? I don't know about that. Anyways, I can do more of a comparison video on any one of these videos. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for subscribing.